Hello, welcome to my channel for Evolved Humans. I'm Miss Day. So, a lot of different things happening in this reading because I feel like there's a very strong possibility that whoever this reading applies to, that you made a decision, recent past or just in general, or right now. Like you've made a recent decision, whether it was an external action or not. It's almost like you decided to come back into what you know you are. And there's like this feeling that whoever you are, I don't know if you almost felt like your talents, maybe not necessarily all of them, but something you were good at. Like one of the first feelings I got was that someone in this reading has always had their own little quirks, cute quirks, like artsy types of little things, like just little different things that you did that made you kind of set apart from your siblings, maybe. It feels like family, peers. I don't know. I feel like whoever you are, you always kind of knew in a really not judgmental way that you were going to have to, that you went to the beat of your own drum. And I feel like you've caused this almost upheaval in your own life, whether or not or you're about to, or you just decided it's the moment to. And it's like you're coming back to the fact that you are set apart and that there is something to you that you have not fulfilled yet. And I think that there's a lot of healing that is going to happen in this, but it feels like a very empowering type of healing. Like, and you know what else? In the beginning too, this makes me feel like you need to feel there's someone in this reading that almost like takes responsibility for the healing that wasn't done by those around them. It's almost like you are carrying some of their weight. And that is not fair. That is not healthy. And that's not yours to carry. Even if the wounds were placed there by them, like you can heal. And I feel like the big feeling with your healing is that you are now aligned with the fact that you are set apart for a reason. And that you always kind of felt set apart in here for a reason, and almost like there were certain things that you just did differently than those around you, and you knew it. I feel like even some of you were not interested in the things that like your peers or your family members were interested in and expected you to be interested in, and you were just literally like not aggressive about it, but I feel like you were kind of met aggressively. So there's also that feeling of when you're going forward, this healing stuff is actually going to be opening you up. This is a reading where your new relationships and your new connections in the next phase, even if it's just like enriching the connections you have, the close ones, it feels very much like you're going to conclude healing through these connections. And that healing, that like all of the weight that you carry because of what these people didn't heal in themselves, so like they put it out obviously in your environment and you absorbed it into yourself. It's like a lot of times I feel like I'm getting this, there's almost like some part, okay. When we have a lot of healing to do, yes, we block a lot. When you're literally at a block, it is like, I keep hearing, when you're a tough nut, like somebody's a tough nut to crack, which sounds really silly, but I'm very, very serious. It's like when you reach the moment that you're at a block, one in particular, sometimes that moment can feel like the most still and stagnant moment of your life. It can feel like, okay, nothing else is going to move. This is obviously my healing to do. And it's like a lot of times we are carrying energy that belongs to other people. And it can help if you consciously know that. So it's like whoever you are, I feel like you've become more fulfilled with your own self, and you've become more aligned with the fact that you need to go your own way. You need to continue this journey and see what it's about, where it's going to take you. And I feel like you've got this new sense of like self-trust in the fact that you will get to where you're going, wherever that may be. And so I feel like wherever you're headed, it may make you feel like you are not in control of your life. But I feel like this huge message is like, you're actually healing by doing this uncomfortable next phase of being in control of your life. Like you are in control of your life, meaning it is in your hands. You are creating it. And I feel like sometimes there's a huge silent feeling. And it's because we've reached this moment in ourselves where we're like, okay, something's got to give, but I'm not sure what. And I feel like one of the things that came at me really quickly too, when I was going to start this reading, was the beauty of the situation. This sounds nuts, but it's like, I feel like two things. I feel like, first of all, some of you are being told, okay, you can manifest. You know that you can manifest things into reality. You know that. And you know that stuff's real. And you know that you can connect to you can hear the inner voice, and you can follow the signs, and you can see it. And it's like they're also saying, you have to see the other side of that. You sense other people's energies. Maybe even your awareness is so heightened now at this point in your life that you sense it so much. So sometimes we reach this weird moment where we have to literally consciously think. And you have to do inside what you've done outside. You have to take control and be like, if I'm going to have new connections and enjoy that higher vibration. Oh, crazy, this is something from earlier today. It's like, if I'm going to enjoy that new vibration and adapt into being used to it, the higher levels, the higher frequency, the abundance types of daily experience, if you're going to experience more of that, you need to clear this out of all of the lower stuff that you're used to. And a lot of that is big, where it's not just, okay, have you broken ties with these people? Sometimes that ability to manifest and to connect in such a deep, empathic way that I know you are. I know that's how you like experience people, and it's almost like scary in the next phase, like with relationships and stuff. I feel like that's why sometimes we get this silent type of feeling from the frequencies up here, because our vehicle is stumped at a low frequency. And it's like, gotta get that out of the way, and then this can flow again, And it feels like that all of that stuff, take that and just visualize way back to where you actually were, consciously or not consciously, you were observing how everyone around you was reacting to you. You were observing their pains. You could sense when they were stressed. You could reacted when they were stressed. I know some of you had like some stomach issues in your youth from other people's problems. And I think that sometimes we don't realize it's not just healing from the moments or healing from the relationship. If you're consciously wanting to accept new higher vibrations, and you really do want to take control and be the independent energy that this feels like a direct, like I want to choose my fate. You can consciously actually go in and ask to remove those other people from your vehicle. And like your own consciousness, I like to picture your consciousness traveling up and down your spine and into your brain. So like that's where we go. So if someone else is in there, it's like that's what can kind of cause a block where it's like, that doesn't feel right, or that doesn't feel like that's mine to carry. Certain things like that, you don't necessarily have to like zone in on why you got hurt by them again. If you've already gone through the healing and if you're going to continue whenever those moments come up, like it just happens, especially for like holidays and anniversaries and stuff. But I feel like whoever you are, that's kind of like this beautiful message, is that you actually are healing and stepping forward, and you have this new ability. You have this ability you've had all along to be empathic to someone else's energy. And it's like way later down the line when you're really ready and you're consciously trying to get a clear vehicle going, then it's a good step to take some consciousness and apply it to like removing all of that old stuff out. Again, just like this is a house. Just like you're just clearing out some old lingering energy that doesn't really have a space here anymore. So, in this next phase, I feel like you are in control by healing. Like someone feels like they're not in control yet, and I feel like this huge message coming is like, oh yes you are. Those old weights that you're carrying are not yours to carry. And you actually have a lot more power in your capacity to get rid of them now. But it's going to take consciously aligning with the fact that like you are carrying things that were never yours to carry. And if you're super aware of like, feeling other people's energies and stuff, sometimes these things come back and we're not aware of it, but it's because just think of it just like a cycle. Like where there's always an up and then there's a down again, and there's an up and there's a down again. This feels like whoever I am talking to, you almost have never gotten to experience an up where all things were okay. And I feel like that's the next phase, is like you've got to trust now that all things can be okay and that you can keep that promise. Like you can rely on you to keep that. And that you healing is not you being out of control like they were. Or like certain things were. Certain situations, I think, were. Not just people. Okay. So, and I think a lot of times too, and this feels like a big one, is that there's like a lot of past stuff where you had a lot of family environment or a certain environment that felt like it should feel right, but behind the scenes it wasn't really as connected to who you were. So it's like now you have this new place where you can have those connections that it feels almost like you've always been seeking. So, and your authority stepping into that is needed, but it's also like that's welcome here. Like it's not going to be you overstepping when you just control by taking the time and being like, oh, I need to focus on this right now. This is how I'm reacting to this. I think I'm okay to go ahead anyway. It's like, it's really interesting. So super positive message, because I feel like this outcome is like connections, good high level connections. That doesn't mean a couple thing necessarily. That's not what I'm saying when I say that. It just means like connections. Like maybe you're going to have interactions on a higher level that maybe make you learn better. Maybe you're going to literally be experiencing new things and new avenues in your job where you can you can learn into new abilities of your own. So it feels really positive, like there's a balance that you are achieving. And all of that positive connection you wanted and that you want, it's not that it's not accessible. They're basically saying you just have to recognize sometimes we actually get stopped up, and it's not because we haven't owned what we carry. It's because we just haven't quite cleaned everything out yet. So, and whoever you are, there's someone in here where I feel like this previous moment that you kind of caused, I think that there's still some lingering almost anger with that, and I think that that's a part of this healing too, where they're like, that doesn't mean that you're behind. You can heal that stuff as you go. As you go up. There is no you have to stay down here and heal. It's more like they're saying, no, you came back, good job. Now this means you get to heal along the way, because you're going to keep control of yourself as you heal. And somebody needs to hear that too. You have all the power to control yourself. So like, don't be afraid to like dip into those emotions and let them come out when it feels a little unnatural, because it almost does feel like you're doing, sometimes it can feel kind of like an exorcism when you're releasing someone out of your life. Okay. Releasing their grip on you or their view of you, Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. And if this resonates, definitely let me know if you are comfortable doing that in the comments. Subscribe to my channel if you feel like the readings resonate with you, or if you just get something out of them. And I hope you have a really great night, and I'll see you in the next reading.